Guys, welcome to my channel RKG Tutorials. Now we are in the 20th class. If anyone not yet subscribed, please subscribe and do watch the previous classes. Now in this class we are going to discuss about the electromagnetic induction type relays. In the previous class we have studied about the electromagnetic attraction type relays, which has a limitation of sensing the AC quantities. Production of double frequency component produces oscillation, so it is not preferred for the it can sense the AC, but it is not preferred for AC. So for the sensing AC, we use electromagnetic induction type relays. This is an important MCQ, remember. But it requires two working fluxes. Two working fluxes are necessary. Two working fluxes. How do you get two working fluxes? Let us say pi 1 and pi 2. These are the two working fluxes. In order to produce the operating force, these two working fluxes are necessary. So how do you get the operating forces? The operating fluxes can be by two ways. First one is split phase technique, and the second one is quadrature winding mechanism. Quadrature winding mechanism. By using these two ways, we will get the two working fluxes, due to which we can produce the operating force. Let us see how. Say pi 1 and pi 2 are here, pi 1 and pi 2. These two working fluxes are produced, let us say. We are using aluminum conductor, aluminum disc in the in these electromagnetic induction type relays. Aluminum disc is used, which is having an internal resistance of R ohms. So these are the two, let us say these are the time varying fluxes. When the two time varying fluxes are interacted with a conductor, then according to the electromagnetic induction principle, there is a production of induced EMF in it, which drives the currents I1 and I2. Okay, this is very clear, but how the operating force is produced? That is what is the issue here. Okay, so operating force is produced because we already knew that the force is directly proportional to pi and I. Torque is directly proportional to phi and I. Operating force and operating torque both are same. So due to the interaction of the pi 1 and I2, there is one operating force. Let us say this is F dash. Due to the interaction of pi 2 and I1, there is another operating force. Let us say this is F2 double dash. So due to F dash first one can be produced by pi 1 and I2. F now double dash can be produced by pi 2 and I1. Then how do you get the resultant force, sir? The resultant operating force is the difference of these two forces. This is how the operating force will be produced in the electromagnetic induction type relays. It uses the induction principle to produce the operating force. That's why these are induction type relays. So in these induction type relays also will be having three types. These three types are very important. The first one is shaded pole type relay. Second one is watt hour relay. Third one is induction cup type relays. These are the three different relays will be having based on the induction principle. So just now we have seen that working fluxes are produced by using the two mechanisms. One is the split phase technique, another one is the quadrature winding mechanism. How the split phase? So here induction pole type uses the split phase technique. But the remaining two, whatever in induction, these working principles are exactly same. These uses the quadrature winding mechanism. Quadrature winding mechanism. Now let us discuss about the shaded pole type relay today. Okay. So we'll go to the next slide. So let it be here. Okay, no problem. Now, so this is what is the shaded pole type relay. This is a construction. It is consist of a fixed core with some split phase here. We are going to split the phase here. So due to which the working fluxes will be produced. So this is given to the CT. This is a relay coil. This is the relay coil. This is the aluminum disc having the relay contact. Here is the trip circuit present. So what happens now? When the fault occurs in the line, it will be sensed by the CT, and if the amount is more, then what happens? The production of flux will be here. In the core, flux will be produced. This flux due to the phase, split phase here, what happening? The flux will be flowing through these two. So there are two fluxes. This is pi 1 and this is pi 2, or this is pi 2 or this is pi 1, whatever you can say. This is pi 1, this is pi 2, let us say. But these two are in phase now here. There is no phase displacement. If there is no phase displacement, you can't get the operating force. So you need to get the phase displacement. For that, we are going to use a mechanism. We are going to use an extra element here called a shaded band. This is shaded band in order to produce the phase displacement between the pi 1 and pi 2. If pi 1 and pi 2 are in phase, there is no F naught. If pi 1 and pi 2 are displaced by some phase, then you will get the operating force. This is what is the idea here. So let us analyze it. I hope you understood this. Let us analyze this. Here pi 1 is produced. Pi 1 can be written as pi m1 sine omega t. This is due to the band. Here this band is nothing but the shaded band is nothing but the coil, copper coil wound, which acts as an inductor. So it is lagging in nature. So this is the flux produced by shaded band due to the shaded flux. Now pi 2 can be pi m2 sine omega t plus phi. There is a phase displacement. Now according to the Faraday's laws, what happened? The EMF induced due to the interaction of these two time varying fluxes with the conductor induces an EMF. So that is nothing but N into d pi by dt. Since aluminum conductor is having only one turn, aluminum conductor is to be taken as here the number of turns can be taken as 1 because of the aluminum conductor is only 1. So simply you can take E can be d pi by dt. Now let us discuss these two. Production of E1 by pi 1, production of E2 by pi 2. Let us get in detail with this. Simple. So E1 here, E1 can be d pi 1 by dt. So d by dt of pi 1 can be written as pi m1 sine omega t. So by this we will get pi m1, this is constant, sine omega t can be cos omega t into omega again. This is E1. Likewise E2 is well, d by dt of pi 2. d by dt of pi 2 can be pi m2 sine omega t plus pi. So here we can get pi m2 constant, sine can be cos omega t plus pi, and again we will get omega. So these are the two EMFs which are produced. Now we will get the currents as well. So how do you get the current? Let me use another marker. I1. How do you get I1? I1 will get E1 by R. There is R is nothing but it is a resistance of the disc here. Aluminum disc having some internal resistance of R. And I2 also you will get by E2 by R. So what is I1 then? I1 is E1. E1 is pi m1 omega cos omega t upon R. I2 also you will get I2 as pi m2 omega cos omega t plus pi over, let us say, R. Now let us continue in the next slide. Let us keep it here. So you will get the operating force F naught dash by pi 1 and I2. Just now we have studied. And F2 can be, F naught double dash can be due to pi 2 and I1. Now let us go with this. Pi 1 is just now we have seen here, that is pi m1 sin omega t, and I2 is here, this is pi m2 omega cos omega t pi by R. Let us substitute here. Pi m1 sin omega t multiplied by I2 is pi m2 omega cos omega t plus pi over R. In the same way, substitute for pi f naught double dash, that is pi 2 and I1. So here pi 2 is pi m2 sin omega t plus pi, and I1 is here, it is given pi m1 omega cos omega t R. Let us substitute here. Pi m2 sin omega t plus pi multiplied by I1 is pi m1 omega cos omega t upon R. Now we'll get the F naught as the resultant F naught is the difference of first force and the second operating force. Now how it will be, let us see. I'm directly taking here pi m1, pi m2 or omega, all are common in these two. So let us take them common. Pi m1, pi m2 omega over R. If you take common, what will be the remaining? Sin omega t into cos omega t plus pi, since we are differencing, minus sin omega t plus pi into cos omega t. Here this is sin A cos B minus cos A sin B. Then you will get pi m1 pi m2 omega over R into sin A cos B minus cos A sin B is sin A minus B. Sin A minus B. So omega t gets cancelled. Let me write here. Sin omega t minus omega t plus pi. So here this one will get cancelled. You will get sin minus pi, that is nothing but sin pi. So simply pi m1 pi m2 omega over R sin pi. Now you see the double frequency element has gone, which was present in the electromagnetic attraction type relay. So this is what is the operating force in the electromagnetic induction type relay, that is the shaded pole type relay. But here this has to be limited by and restriking force Fr, which is connected on the spring to the disc. So that is, it acts exactly opposite to the F naught. So but if you take since we are taking the aluminum conductor, its internal resistance is constant, let us say omega be constant. Then what is F naught? F naught is equals to some constant, let us say this is to be constant, into pi m1 pi m2 sine pi. This is the formula we will get, k pi m1 pi m2 sine pi. Now let us divide this one over the overcurrent relays and over voltage relays. So what is the difference between these two? Let us say we are going to discuss about the overcurrent relays and over voltage and over current relays. Let us see its application now. We'll see in the next slide. Shaded pole applications. So it can be a over current relay or over voltage relay. It can be used as over current relay or it can be used as over voltage relay. So if you talk about the over current relay, the operating force is just now we have seen that is k into pi m1 pi m2 sine pi. From here we can write F naught is directly proportional to pi 1 and pi m1 and pi m2. Let us say pi m1 is equals to pi m2, that is equals to, let us say, pi m. And we already knew that pi m is directly proportional to the current flowing. So F naught is directly proportional to I into I because of this pi 1 and this pi 1. So F naught is directly proportional to I square. So we can say F naught is directly proportional to operating quantity square. This is important here. F naught is directly proportional to operating quantity square. Likewise, here also you will get F naught is directly proportional to V square, operating quantity square. As shaded pole relay is sensing only magnitude. See here, it's just sensing the only magnitude. There is no phase. Since it is sensing only magnitude, these are non-directional relays. It senses only magnitude. So this is the application. I hope you understood. We will see the watt hour relay in the next class. If you have any problem, please text me, comment me in the comment box. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Signing off.